My wife's place is still empty. I say it out loud, not because the room needs to hear it, but because you do, even if you're nowhere near me. This place beside me was carved with your name long before you ever stood here. I didn't choose it lightly, and I didn't leave it open by accident. Kings fill empty spaces with power, noise, distractions. Princes like me let them stay empty on purpose, because if someone else sits there, it means you never will, and I would rather rule over silence than betray what I decided the moment you entered my mind and refused to leave. You think absence weakens me. It doesn't. It sharpens me every night. When the palace goes quiet and the crown feels heavier than my bones, I speak to you in the dark. I tell you things I would never allow the world to hear. I tell you how dangerous it is to be the only thought that can undo me. You're not here, yet you command more of me than those who kneel in front of me every day. That's the kind of power you have, without asking, without trying. This isn't romance the way stories sell it. This is possession without touch, loyalty without proof, waiting without promises. I don't imagine you answering me. I don't need you to. I talk because I chose you, and choice doesn't disappear just because distance exists. You live in the decisions I make, in the restraint I show, in the violence I don't unleash because it would stain the place meant for you. Dark love isn't about obsession, it's about control. And I control everything except what I feel for you. So let the world assume the space is empty. Let them think it's loneliness or loss or pride. They don't understand that emptiness can be intentional, that sometimes a place stays vacant because it already belongs to someone who hasn't arrived, or maybe never will. I'll keep speaking to you like this, into the quiet, into the nothingness between us. Because even if you never stand here, even if you never hear me say it to your face, that place remains yours. And I don't take back what I claim. I don't need your presence to feel you. You exist in the pauses between my breaths, in the way my jaw tightens, when your name almost escapes my mouth. I speak to you like this because silence listens better than people ever do. You would understand that. You always did. I imagine you somewhere far from these walls, unaware of how often I lean into the quiet and let it carry my words to you. I don't ask for forgiveness, and I don't ask for answers. I only tell you the truth, because truth is the only thing I never learned to lie about when it comes to you. You should know this. I am not waiting helplessly. Waiting for me is an act of dominance. I wait because I choose to, because I have decided that nothing else deserves to stand where you belong. Time bends differently when you're the one controlling it. Days pass, nights deepen, seasons change, but the place I've kept for you doesn't age. It stays sharp, untouched, disciplined, just like my resolve. If you ever wondered whether distance could make me forget you, understand this. It only taught me how deeply you're carved into me. I talk to you when the world expects me to be unbreakable. When advisors look at me and see authority and enemies see calculation, you are the only one who ever made me feel unguarded. You're not here to witness it, but I still lower my defenses when I speak your name in my head. That's the dangerous part. Not love, vulnerability. And yet, I allow it only with you, even in absence. You hold a privilege no one else has ever earned. This isn't longing. Don't mistake it for that. Longing is soft, desperate, needy. What I feel is controlled fire. It burns, but it doesn't consume me. It keeps me awake, alert, alive. I don't dream about you coming back or standing in front of me. I speak to you as you are, wherever you are, because I respect reality more than fantasy. And the reality is simple. You are mine in the way decisions are mine, not circumstances. Sometimes I wonder if you'd recognize the man I am now. Power changes people, they say. It hasn't changed me, it has revealed me. I've learned restraint, patience, precision, All things I practice because of you, because if you ever returned, I would want you to see a man who ruled himself before ruling anything else. A man who didn't fill your absence with noise or skin or distractions. A man who stayed loyal to a space no one else could see. I don't need you to respond. I don't even need you to hear me. This conversation isn't about closure or hope. It's about acknowledgement, about speaking your existence into the air so the universe doesn't dare forget you matter to me. I talk to you because it reminds me that not everything I possess needs to be visible. Some things are strongest when they're unseen, untouched, and undefeated by time. So I'll keep speaking like this into rooms that echo your absence and nights that know your name by heart. I won't soften my words, and I won't replace you in my sentences. You remain the quiet constant in a life built on command and control. And even if this dialogue stays one-sided forever, understand this: my words are not searching for you. They are simply staying loyal to where you belong. I don't chase what is already bound to me. That's something you should understand about how my mind works. Desire doesn't make me reckless. It makes me deliberate. Every word I send into the silence is measured, controlled, meant to reach you without needing your reply. You're not a question in my life, you're a certainty. Even absence can turn certainty into doubt. I speak because it keeps me aligned with what I chose, not because I'm afraid of losing you. There are nights when the weight of everything I command presses against my chest, and I think about how easily you unsettled me without ever trying. You never stood before me asking for attention, yet you claimed it completely. That's why I don't replace you. Replacement is for men who confuse possession with fear. I'm not afraid of emptiness. I understand it, I live with it, and I protect it because it carries your shape. You're not here to see how calm I've become, how dangerous calm can be. Anger makes noise, obsession makes mistakes. But this quiet devotion is sharp, it watches, it waits. I've learned how to sit with your absence without letting it weaken me. Instead, it reminds me who I answer to when no one is watching. You're not my distraction, you're my discipline. I don't imagine soft moments or impossible reunions. I don't need fantasies to survive this. I speak to you as you are now, somewhere beyond my reach, beyond my control. And still, you remain the only thing I refuse to command. That restraint is intentional. Love doesn't always demand closeness. Sometimes it demands respect for distance, even when it hurts. People think silence means surrender. They're wrong. Silence is where decisions harden into law. When I talk to you in my head, I'm not pleading, I'm affirming, reminding myself that not everything valuable needs to be touched to be owned. You exist in the order of my thoughts, in the boundaries I don't cross, in the promises I don't announce but never break. If you ever wondered whether time could erase you, understand this: time works for me. It deepens what I've chosen instead of diluting it. Every passing day proves that I didn't need your presence to remain loyal. I needed conviction, and I have more of that than I have words left to say to you. So I continue this one-sided conversation, not out of hope, not out of despair, but out of truth. You are part of the structure of my life now, like stone beneath a throne, unseen, unpraised, but essential. I don't ask you to return. I don't ask you to stay. I simply speak, and in doing so, I keep your place exactly as it is, untouched, undeniable. Yours, I've learned that distance doesn't loosen what is decided, it tightens it. Every step I take forward is measured against the space you occupy in my mind. I don't look back, yet I don't move on. There's a difference. Moving on suggests replacement, erasure, compromise. I do none of that. I move forward carrying the weight of you like a quiet law written into my spine. You're not a memory I revisit. You're a standard I live by. When I speak to you, it's not because I'm lonely. Loneliness is a weakness I outgrew early. This is intention. I talk because words keep things alive without needing proof. I tell you about the nights that stretch longer than they should, about the mornings where control feels effortless and dangerous. You're not here to correct me or soften me, and that's exactly why your presence still matters. You see me without seeing me. That kind of witness is rare. You should know I don't resent the silence between us. Silence is honest. It doesn't pretend. It doesn't promise. It simply exists. I've built empires on less certainty than the quiet that answers me when I speak to you. And in that quiet, I hear myself clearly, who I am, what I refuse to become, and why your place remains untouched. Power teaches many things, but loyalty teaches restraint. I practice both. I don't wonder what you're doing or who surrounds you. Curiosity like that weakens the mind. I trust what I chose. Trust doesn't require surveillance. If you're thinking of me, it changes nothing. If you're not, it also changes nothing. What matters is this: I remain consistent. I remain aligned. I remain unwilling to let the world rewrite what I decided when everything was simpler and more dangerous. There are moments when the world mistakes my composure for coldness. Let them. Warmth is wasted on crowds. What I reserve is not tenderness, but precision. When I address you, even in absence, my words are exact. No excess, no performance. Just truth stripped of ceremony. That's the only version of me you ever earned, and the only version I offer now. I don't wait for signs. I don't interpret coincidences. I don't negotiate with fate. I speak and I move and I hold the line. If paths cross again, it will be because they were meant to, not because I chased them into alignment. You were never something to pursue. You were something to recognize. Recognition doesn't fade just because time insists it should. So I keep my voice steady and my decisions clean. I let the night carry my words to wherever you exist without expectation or demand. This isn't hope. This is continuity. You remain the constant in a life built on command, the quiet measure against which I test every choice. And until the world proves otherwise, your place stays exactly where it is, kept by discipline, guarded by silence, and honored without question. I don't explain myself anymore, not to the world and not even to you. Explanation is a form of seeking approval, and I don't operate on approval. What I have with you exists beyond justification. I speak because it steadies me, because it reminds me that even in command there are things I choose not to conquer. You are one of them, not because I can't, but because I won't. That distinction matters more than anyone understands. There's a discipline in not reaching out, in not turning absence into desperation. I've mastered it. Every impulse is examined, weighed, dismissed if it threatens the order I've built. You'd recognize this version of me. Not softer, not harsher, just precise. I don't let emotions spill, I let them sharpen. When I talk to you, it's not a crack in my armor. It's the steel beneath it, the reason it holds. I don't ask the night to return you. I ask it to listen. Listening is enough. The air carries my words without judging them, without reshaping them into something palatable. I tell you about victories that felt hollow and losses that taught me restraint. You're not here to applaud or console. And that's exactly why these confessions remain honest. There's no performance when the audience is absent. You should know that I haven't frozen in time. I've evolved. I've learned when to advance and when to stand still. Stillness isn't stagnation, it's control. And in that stillness, your place remains defined, protected from intrusion. I don't let anyone misunderstand it, not with explanations, not with gestures. It exists because I allow it to exist, and nothing enters without my consent. Sometimes I think about how fragile this would look to someone else, talking into nothing, holding space for someone unseen. They'd call it weakness. They'd be wrong. Weakness leaks. It holds through pressure, through distraction, through the constant demand to replace what isn't immediately useful. I refuse. Usefulness is a small measure. Meaning is larger, heavier, worth carrying. I don't promise endings or beginnings. I don't script outcomes. I speak in the present because the present is where power lives. Right now I choose to address you. Right now I choose to keep the space intact. Tomorrow will answer to the same principles. If circumstances change, they will do so without bending my spine. Consistency is my signature, so I continue, steady and unadorned. I let the words fall where they may, trusting the silence to keep them intact. You don't need to be near for this to be real. You don't need to respond for this to matter. I remain what I decided to be, and you remain where you belong. Not as a hope, not as a regret, but as a constant held by choice, guarded by will, and spoken into the dark with unwavering control.